We see protagonists standing there, enjoying all the romance and butterflies, and from the look in their eyes, all the hopeless singles out there can definitely feel the sting. Then she heads home. And now begins the phase of silliness, or more accurately, the early crush awkwardness, where each one says a simple word and then gets shy about it. They even find excuses to stay standing together as long as possible, so when he tells her good night, she replies, "You too." And our guy starts swooning, then leans in even closer, and boom, he kisses her on the forehead. Now hold on, what do you think this is? This is a respectable summary from a respectable lady. After what happened, she starts feeling confused about her emotions. When Kaffer leaves, Kars comes out and yells at her for coming home late. She tells him, "You're not my dad, don't talk to me like that." He lets it go, and just tells her to come inside behind him. But she gets more upset, because to this day, she still doesn't know who her father is. When she goes into her room, she finds a new message from Kaffer checking up on her. She starts jumping on the bed from happiness and sends him a message back, thanking him and wishing him sweet dreams. A couple of seconds later, her hormones start kicking in and she tells herself, "Get it together, girl. Are you seriously getting soft? This isn't our vibe." Then she gets another message, this time from Yuri, who's checking in on her and asking if she has her vacation days planned, but she ignores him, doesn't even reply. I swear I'm about to throw a slipper at her. Who ignores a red-haired cutie like that? A little later, she gets a third message, and it's like, what is this? An episode from a show or what? The message tells her that they have to meet on Monday after school. Our girl is surprised, and when she asks why, she's told that he has information about her family and her brother. She's even more confused now and doesn't understand anything. The next day, she goes back to school and the results are supposed to be out and posted in the hallways. It's total chaos, and all the department sections are crowded together. Then one of the guys, a classmate, comes over acting all pitiful and asks to borrow some money. To make sure she listens, he starts flattering her. And it actually works. She agrees to bring him the money the next day. She tells him she needs to check her results first, just to be sure. But the other students are making a mess, so he tells her not to worry and yells at everyone to clear the way. Looks like the guys in that department are all confident and smooth. Anyway, our girl Jay is celebrating because she passed and got an 84.5. But then she remembers Sai Inu and their deal. She freaks out because he's the only one in the whole department who got a full 100. He comes up behind her, grabs her, and says, "Gotcha." She's confused, like, "How'd you do that, you slacker?" He tells her he's actually a genius, and when he's not feeling motivated, he struggles to study, but when he sets his mind to something, he reaches it. He reminds her not to forget their deal, then walks away. Enter Yuri, asking her why she didn't reply to his message. He's really upset. Since she doesn't have an answer, she does a see Inu move and runs away. When she gets to the classroom, she bumps into Kaffer. She grabs her bag and tries to leave, still awkward about what happened the night before. But he stops her. Before he can say anything, she shushes him so no one finds out. When she spots Sai Inu, she uses him as an excuse and goes to talk to him. They speak quietly, very discreetly, because the rest of the students are now totally focused on them and eavesdropping like crazy. Then Si Inu, being the big mouth that he is, blurts out their deal and tells everyone that Jay is supposed to kiss someone today. All the guys get hyped, and each one starts prepping himself. She screams, "My reputation! Are you kidding me?" and hits Sai Inu for causing all this. Then the guys agree that whoever she chooses will get dealt with by the rest, so each one tries to outshine the others, so she picks him. Our boys are standing quietly like, "Aren't we good enough for you or what?" Kaffer shuts everyone up and tells them Jay will choose whoever she wants, and no one should pressure her. The most excited of all is Yuri, especially when she starts walking toward him. Kaffer notices and gets jealous, but then she surprises them all. She goes to David and kisses him on the cheek, because he's the only one asleep and not involved in this drama at all. She promises him she'll explain later. The guys gather around David and give him a proper beatdown. Suddenly, she gets a message from Percy, asking her to meet him at the mall today, and not to tell anyone. She rushes over, but when she arrives, he calls her and says he can't meet her after all because she didn't follow the agreement and brought people with her. Of course, maximum privacy is needed, and he tells her that all the talksome guys are watching her. She takes the opportunity to ask him if Felix's brother changed. He says yes. She's shocked, because they all thought he was dead. He tells her it's a long story, and he'll explain when they meet. Then she asks him again, "Are you my brother?" And he tells her, "Your brother has been by your side this whole time, but you just haven't realized it." She starts crying hard, clearly emotional. The guys jump in like, "Who's talking to you and upsetting you like this? We're going to find him and sort him out right now." She yells at them, telling them to stay out of her business and stop spying on her. She tells them she was here to meet Percy, but he didn't show up because of them. And of course, when they hear his name, everyone is stunned. They go back home and bring out the photos. Felix points to one of them and she confirms, "Yes, that's Percy." It becomes clear the guys are hiding something big. They finally agree to tell her now. We learned that back in the day, there was a crew made up of Yuri, Koffer, Kars, and Percy. One day, Percy decided they should all go out driving. They were all nervous because none of them really knew how to drive. After hanging out, Kars wanted to leave quickly because they had taken his brother's car without permission, but Percy insisted they stay a bit longer. On the way back, they got into a fight, and suddenly, they had a car crash. Yuri and Kaffer managed to jump out of the car, the rest got thrown from it, and they managed to save Kars, but Percy was nowhere to be found. They thought he had died. Now, the guys suspect that Percy is back for revenge against Kars for what happened. That's why he's trying to get close to Jay. He might use her, so they beg her to stay away from him. Either way, they promise to protect her and won't let anyone hurt her. So Flexi yells at them because that's his brother, and Jay feels for him and reassures him that if he talks to her, she'll tell him. When she gets home, she's tense and overthinks everything until Percy calls her. She tells him she knows the truth and asks if he's using her to get back at Gars. He swears he's a decent guy and would never do that, and that soon she'll know the full truth. She ends up staying up all night, so the next day she falls asleep in class. Koki takes advantage and snaps a pic of her laughing. Suddenly, she wakes up and catches him, chasing him around to get the phone back. Since the guy's super tall, it's not easy. He keeps dodging her, while all the other guys laugh, except Yuri, who's clearly jealous. Eventually, she manages to grab the phone and deletes the story, but realizes there are other photos of her. She's visibly upset and jealous and wants to get away from him, so she grabs her bag and sits on the other side next to Yuri. Then Kaffer says, "I'm always behind you," and sits next to her too like, "You're not escaping me." They stay like that, playing musical chairs until the teacher walks in. She ends up having to sit in the middle, but still nudges her chair toward Yuri, who uses the chance to get closer. Of course, Koki won't let them be, so he edges closer too. Where's the discipline, the morals, in this class? When the lesson starts, the teacher talks about a certain university, and all the students get excited, except Jay, who has no clue what's going on. Yuri explains that the school is arranging a visit to that university so students can get a feel for it, and if they like it, they can enroll. Anyone who wants to go has to fill out a form, so Jay takes one. Koki's asleep, so she tosses his paper on his hand. Clearly, she's not a fan. Sweet Yuri tells her to take advantage while he's asleep and get revenge. He hands her a pen, and she looks at Koki and says, "God made you this handsome, so you deserve this." She draws a horrible mustache on him. The class bursts into laughter. When he wakes up, everyone goes quiet. He asks Jay if she did something, and she says, "Of course not." But once he sees his clown face on the phone, he tells her, "I'm gonna get you." Yuri, the good guy, holds her in place so Kaffer can draw on her too. She gets mad like, "Wow, so much for having my back." And Kaffer draws her a ridiculous mustache too. Then he goes around to the rest of the laughing students. Meanwhile, Jay meets the guy she lent money to and hands it over. When she asks why he needs it, he says it's an emergency and swears he'll pay her back. He's not a thief. She replies, Yeah, you all say that. We'll see." When she gets home, she's shocked to see some classmates there. The bully, Mika, and Ella. And of course, the bully starts picking on her until Gar steps in and yells at her like, "You're seriously gonna insult our girl?" Ella, the sweet little cutie, invites Jay to eat with them, but Jay, feeling jealous, refuses and says she's full. As soon as she turns around, though, she rushes to the table, because of course there's a plate of sweets waiting for her. While eating, she keeps staring at Ella, thinking how beautiful she is without fillers or Botox. She's stunning even when she cries. No wonder all the guys are going crazy over her. Jay feels she could never compete with that, and she's sure Kaffer doesn't love her anymore. There's no way he moved on that fast. She's hurt and starts crying just as the maid walks in and asks if the food's that bad. Jay tries to cover it up by saying, "No, I'm crying because it's so delicious." The next day at school, she runs into Cyan, who asks if she's submitted the university form yet. She says not yet. Suddenly, she gets a call from an unknown number and assumes it's Percy. She's sure Cyan is a gossip, and if he finds out, he'll expose everything, so she walks away to answer. Turns out it's the guy she lent money to. Again, he says he needs more money because he's in big trouble. When she asks for his address, he says, Kingsland. Yuri happens to walk by, and when he hears that name, he freezes. The bigger shock comes when he learns Jay wants to go there alone. He stops her and insists on going instead, but she refuses and says, Nope, I'm going with you. When they get there, the guard at the entrance recognizes Yuri. Clearly, this place holds some secrets. They hand over their phones and go inside, where they meet a guy in a weird outfit nicknamed the Tiger. Turns out he owns the place and is surprised to see Yuri after so long. He says, Good thing you brought your girl so she can see what's up, and starts chatting with Jay. She's scared, holding tight onto Yuri's arm, refusing to let go. We learn that the place is for gambling, and those who lose and owe money have to fight in fast-paced battles. Yuri asks about his friend's debt so he can pay and leave, but the Tiger refuses and says, You know the rules. If you want to take him, you have to fight in his place. Jay begs him not to, but Yuri insists. He asks their friend to take her away and keep her safe because what's about to happen is serious. Jay follows him, and the Tiger leads them to a VIP area with food. The cold friend starts stuffing his face while Jay's upset, thinking about Yuri. She says, I can't eat a bite until I know he's okay. The Tiger, being a smug jerk, tries to flirt with her, and she's not having it until he mentions he's an old friend of her cousin's and also knows Kafir. That piques her interest, and she starts eating like, Okay then, spill the tea, don't leave me hanging. He tells her that Kafir and the gang used to hang out there all the time until he and Yuri got into a fight about a girl, and nobody came back after that. Since Jay loves gossip, she grabs the snacks to listen and enjoy. But her friend embarrasses her by saying, Guess you're not really hungry, you're just scared for Yuri. She remembers Yuri is probably in the ring right now, so she runs off to see him. Meanwhile, Koki is sitting with his friends with tons of food, and he's saved some for her. When he calls her, her phone is off, and he gets worried. His friends notice and say, Why do you care so much? Why are you so tense? So he yells at them to cover things up and demands they find out where she is, since they've hacked her phone. He's shocked when he learns she's with the Tiger. Meanwhile, Yuri is already up in the ring, and we find out his first time there was back when he fought Kafir over a girl. Yuri had held back and taken the fall from the very first hit just to let Kafir win, but this time he's not backing down. Now he's fired up for her, and with one move, he wins the match. Well, he's a badass husband after all. After that, he heads straight to Jay, who's a total mess, falling apart and deeply upset over him. She grabs the guy who caused all this drama and starts beating him up. When Yuri notices, he pulls the cold guy away by his shirt like, Move, we need to talk. As soon as he walks away, he hugs Jay and reassures her that he's fine and won't fight again, for her. Then he tells her the same story the Tiger mentioned and confirms that he doesn't love her anymore at all. They're about to leave, but the Tiger stops them and lets them know there's still another round, this time against his ideal opponent. He's talking about Koki, who shows up at that exact moment. Koki snaps at the guy who brought them there and grabs Jay to take her away, but she stops him. She asks why he came after her and why he's so concerned. He tells her he's constantly worried when she's not near him, and that this is not the time or place for questions. They need to leave. The men try to block them, but come on, it's Kafir we're talking about. He takes them all down like a beast and makes a run for it, gripping her hand tightly. She notices that the guard at the gate is actually smiling as he watches them, and honestly, so are we. But Yuri, the only one not smiling, stands there alone, feeling like she's slipping away from him too. The next day, everyone gets together because they're going on a university visit. She's upset because she forged her dad's signature on the form. He didn't want her to go. Then she notices that Seekin is clueless and struggling with his tie, so she helps him. The other boys take the opportunity to beg her for help too, and our kind-hearted girl agrees. Yuri sees how she's doing it and tries to tie his own, but messes it up. Suddenly, she notices a kiss mark on one of her classmates' necks, and just before exposing him, he covers it and begs her not to say anything. Then she gets to Yuri, encourages him because he at least tried, but still ties it for him properly. Our girl is living her happiest moment, while Koki is jealous and deliberately ruins his tie, even though he got it right. Then the bus arrives and everyone rushes to get on, except for Koki. He asks her to tie his tie too and she snaps, "What are you, a baby?" She tells him she saw him tying it fine earlier. He keeps provoking her until she's about to curse him out, but holds her tongue at the last second so she ends up helping him. Suddenly, she decides to express her feelings for him and ties the knot super tight. Then she pins his ID badge on him and walks off. He follows her, grinning. When Jay gets to the university, she notices a professor with the same surname as her family. She feels like she's seen him before but can't quite remember. She's upset, and the guys get worried. Yuri asks if Percy contacted her again and made her upset, but she denies it. Then Seekin leaves her and goes to sit next to Ruki, my sweetheart. Flexi comes and tells her he got a sports scholarship at this university and thanks her because she was the reason. She celebrates with him, hugs him, and even makes him sit next to her. Until Koki comes and moves him aside to sit next to her himself. As always, she's stuck in the middle. I swear she's living the dream. Imagine Yuri on the right and Koki on the left. Peak fantasy. After the conference ends, they leave and Jay sees that same professor again. She's certain now that she knows him. She opens her phone and scrolls through photos until she realizes he's her father. She runs to him. He recognizes her and hugs her, saying he's been waiting for this moment for so long. He asks for her forgiveness for everything he did. Seems like there's something we'll learn later because the director isn't revealing it yet. Then Karez shows up and pulls her away from him. He tells her father that he'll call the police if he comes near her again because there was a prior agreement between him and her uncle that her dad would stay away from her. Jay, of course, doesn't understand anything and just wants to go back to her dad, but Karez the Ice Cube holds her back. Koki gets mad, pushes him away to protect her, and the other guys gather around Jay to comfort her. When she gets home, she yells at her uncle and demands to know the reason they kept her father away. He tells her to wait until tomorrow because her mother is coming and will explain everything. She screams at him not to let her mom come because she can't stand to see her and runs upstairs. The next day, we find her at Koki's place because she needed someone to vent to and couldn't find anyone else. Like, seriously, where's Yuri? She's surprised at how luxurious the place is and asks whose house it is. He tells her it's his. It's his own house, not borrowed from anyone. He warns her to keep her eyes off it because it belongs to her future husband, and he doesn't like people touching it. She asks about his family, and he tells her his mom died and his jerk of a father immediately married another woman. Koki couldn't take it and kicked them out of the house. Normally it's the other way around, but it looks like Koki is tough and in control. That's why he asks what brought her here. When he feels like she's avoiding the question, he suggests they play truth or dare, starting a round of questions. Whoever doesn't answer gets something drawn on their face. It starts with Koki asking her about her mom, and she tells him she can't stand her and doesn't want to go back to her at all. When it's her turn, she asks him if he could ever make up with Garz in the future. When he stays quiet, she's pleased and draws a mustache on him like last time. Then she asks him about the story behind his earring. He tells her it belonged to his mother, and when Percy died, he was feeling down and went into her room by chance, found it, put it on, and felt like she was still with him, comforting him. When it's his turn again, he asks her about her dad. She tells him she never really got to spend time with him, so he advises her to be careful because he might look nice on the outside, but be evil inside, just like his own dad. He insists all men are Mustafa with a stone heart, and she jokes, "Aren't you one of them?" The questions keep going until their faces are full of doodles. Then Jay asks him about his first love, and we're all shocked when he says it was the bully girl. Our girl is stunned like, "What? How?" He explains that she used to be kind before she changed. She keeps pressing him to find out where the second earring is, and he tells her he gave it to someone. She guesses it's Lila. After that, Koki asks her what she thinks of Yuri. She says he's sweet and treats her kindly, and his presence makes her feel special. Then he asks her what she thinks of him personally, and she says, "You really want me to curse you, huh?" He's thrilled and laughs because now he can go through with the punishment he'd promised. He leans in close, and you know what happens. Our girl seems like she's about to slap him, but she doesn't. The next day she's lost in thought about what happened between them. Suddenly, Koki's brother shows up, beating up one of her classmates for getting too close to his girlfriend. She asks the guys to break it up, but no one does, until Yuri arrives and hits Koki's brother. Koki, of course, can't let that go and punches Yuri, knocking him down. Jay runs to help Yuri and yells at Koki, saying he and his brother are both in the wrong. Koki gets mad too and yells back, realizing she's just like Yuri. That switch up though, they were just all lovey-dovey yesterday. Later, they all sit down to eat, and Yuri thanks Jay for standing up for him. Sion tries to calm things down and tells her Koki is actually a good guy and probably feels bad and will come to apologize. And sure enough, Koki shows up, tells the restaurant owner that he's paying for everyone's food. Yes, my man, spend it all so I don't find you broke later, and we end up begging together. Then he goes to Yuri and apologizes. The shocker is that Yuri forgives him just like that. Jay is still upset, but Koki tells her he's got connections and will help her reach her father quickly. She tells him, "In that case, you're forgiven. Like I could ever stay mad at you." That night, her family is gathered, clearly stressed because they're about to go bankrupt. Her aunt is upset and starts crying when Jay walks in, but they try to keep it under control and tell her everything's fine, then send her away. Her granduncle says the only way to fix the situation is to partner with Yuri's grandfather's company. Everyone is shocked by this suggestion and suspects he might sacrifice Jay and arrange her engagement to Yuri just to secure the deal. That's my personal theory. I hope I'm right or wrong. Whatever. I just want drama. The next day at school, Yuri invites her out to thank her for what she did the day before. Of course she agrees. Who could say no to that red-haired dreamboat? The following day, they meet up. Unfortunately, Jay is totally distracted and not really paying attention to him. He asks what's on her mind, but she dodges the question. He gets upset and tells her, "So you don't trust me enough to talk to me?" She tries to smooth things over and tells him she doesn't want to burden him with silly stuff. She grabs his face, noticing how red it is from being upset, and says, "Your hair wasn't enough? You look like a tomato now." She teases him and almost starts singing, "I'm the red tomato," while he's just frozen, heart racing. But then Koki shows up at that very moment and pulls her away, saying it's about her father. Yuri also grabs her hand, and all of us watching are like, "Can we please get just a quarter of Jay's luck? No complaints ever again." Koki tells her it's about her dad, and she agrees to go with him. Yuri tells her he'll wait for her right there. When they arrive at the university, she asks one of the professors about her father, but the woman refuses to give any info due to confidentiality and tells her he's already traveled and there's no way to catch him now. Jay starts crying, feeling like fate is against her. Koki hugs her, kisses her forehead, and tells her he'll always be by her side. She calms down and returns to Yuri, and we see that everyone in the cafe has left, except Yuri, who's still waiting for her. What a man. He gives her the flower and takes out the ring, which, by the way, is red too, and tells her he can't hide his feelings anymore. Everything's out in the open now, and the choice is hers. He leaves. Jay sits down, thinking it over, totally unsure what to do. We see Jai receiving the ring from Yuri and returning home, staying torn. Should she accept or refuse? Until her aunt walks in. Of course, she respects privacy, but when she spots the ring, she asks her who brought it. Jai tells her, and her aunt says the guy must really love her and wants to marry her. She even checks the ring size and it fits her finger perfectly. Her aunt advises her to think carefully and not rush. A little later, she brings her the phone so she can call her mother. Her mother tells her she's getting married again and wants her to attend the wedding. Jai naturally gets upset and yells at her because her mom never checked in on her and didn't even tell her that her dad had been around and wanted to see her. Jai hangs up and refuses to continue the call, clearly upset. The next day, she asks the maid if her room has been cleaned, saying something is missing. And just her luck, Erds is standing there holding the ring box. He asks her if she's looking for that. He wants to know who gave it to her, and when she says Yuri, he gets angry. He tells her that her dad is back from his trip and that he has his address and phone number. He makes a deal with her. She has to reject Yuri, stay away from her friends in Section A, and transfer to Section E. The next day at school, she finds the guys preparing for the New Year's party. The school is hosting the event at a hotel, but they're all outsiders and weren't invited. The boys decide they won't stay quiet. They'll celebrate at school and decorate their classroom. Jai gets a bit down when she sees the name Ella still on the locker, so Kaffer grabs a sticker and covers it up, basically saying, "Whatever you need, I got you, girl." But in his own way. Later, he helps one of his short friends who needs to hang something high up on the tree. Tall guys are necessary, folks. That's why Yuri teases Gila for being short and not able to hang decorations, so he lifts her up and hangs it himself, while she just stands frozen and flustered. One of his friends pulls him away, and Jai looks around at her classmates and realizes that they really are like her family. She gets emotional and starts crying. Kafir sees her and asks what's wrong. She claims something got in her eye. He says she's lying and tells her if she's afraid of anything not to worry, he'll always be by her side. That comforts her. Next is the dance and music competition. Sian, Denzel, and Calix go up and want Jai to join them. They take a break to eat, and Flex tells Jai that Yuri is sitting alone, upset. So she goes over and tries to cheer him up. She even invites him to eat with her, but he refuses. He's happy, though, when she says she liked the ring. They sit and joke around together until Kafir walks in and sees them. He gets jealous, and the smiles vanish. Then there's a whole drama over one big chicken that's gone missing. The guys are baffled. No one saw it or even got a whiff. Everyone starts blaming each other until Jai decides to check everyone's plates. She realizes no one has it. So she says, "Wait, where's Sheehan?" Turns out he's under the table, eating the chicken. He laughs and says, "Sorry guys, I was tempted by her delicious thighs." Jai tells him, "Don't worry, eat up, sweetheart. You're still growing." At that moment, someone from their group brings in an even bigger chicken, and they all get ready to eat. Later, David gives Jai a gift. It's a necklace with her initial. When she thanks him, he tells her he didn't buy it. He just found it outside, and it had her name on it. We then find out Percy was the one who got it and asked David to give it to her. For some reason we'll find out later. Then they play music and start dancing. Sian pulls Jai to dance with them, and they even start teaching her some moves. She begs Kafir to come dance with her, but he refuses because he's enjoying just watching her. Then Yuri gets up to sing, and it's a romantic song. He keeps looking at Jai the whole time, which makes our guy Kafir jealous. Jai notices and keeps glancing at Kafir, which upsets Yuri. He's like, "I'm doing all this for you," and he refuses to finish the song. After that, the next round of competitions begins. The organizers ask the audience to bring specific items. The first person to bring them wins a prize. The first item is chocolate. Calix grabs Mika and says, "Here's my chocolate." And unfortunately, the cringe level is high, but they win. Sian and Jai just let them pass. Then they ask for sweets, and Kafir carries Jai and runs with her, saying, "Here, sweet and sugary." Jai gets super embarrassed, and to make it worse, the prize he gives her is a packet of instant noodles. She yells at him, but sweet Yuri calms her down and sits her next to him. Then they ask everyone to bring what they love most. Yuri picks up Jai and runs with her again. Calix, too, carries Mika. The event hosts are clearly weirded out, like, is Jai the only one everyone's lifting or what? Suddenly, in a moment of silence, Yuri confesses his love for her in front of everyone. Jai gets shy and runs to sit next to Sian. Next comes the gift exchange segment. Honestly, the gifts are just sad. Like a set of hangers, a ladle, a mini grater. The best gift goes to Mika because Flex gave her lipstick, applied it for her, and asked her to kiss his cheek. She leaves a mark on him. The second best gift goes to Kafir, a pair of shorts that Jai bought for him. Everyone laughs because they match what he's already wearing. Unfortunately, Jai's gift is awful. She thinks Kafir got it for her, but it turns out that jerk Sian was behind it. She runs after him and beats him up. When she comes back, she sees the group all gathered together, and it hits her that they really are her family. She gets emotional and starts crying. Kafir notices and says, "Let me guess. Something got in your eye again?" She tells him she's just happy. He says, "May God make you even happier," and invites her to rejoin the celebration.